Yo, listen, people, it's T-Fit here. Well, shit, this is T-Fit TV in a sense. This is the injury-free shit back in the day. So I told you I'm bringing it back. Today we're just gonna go over some upper body stuff, man. Things that you should do, and I would encourage you to do warming up. But I'm gonna break down. Look, everybody wants to know. Oh, not everybody, but a lot of people are always like, yo, how do I build the chest? How do you actually work your shoulders? How do you prevent elbow degeneration, shoulder pain, all this stuff? Well, there's an exact way that the body works, an exact way your joints move. We got my guy Carlo here with me helping today. Big Sean's out there. He gonna walk in some moment. You'll see him. But objectively, I'm gonna put Carlo through some stuff. We're gonna do it together, and then we're gonna kind of race to 100. But let's talk a few things to be clear, things you're looking for in this episode. Hand placement when benching. Hand placement when doing push-ups. Elbow placement, elbow rotation, and then the exact, aka the movement itself, what it looks like and what you should be feeling, and how things function when you're actually doing things correctly. All right, go cut it. Yo, so Carlo, go ahead and tell them what you said you do.
So I do everything twice a week, every muscle group, chest twice, back twice, arms, legs, obviously split it between.
So every day is a two-piece special.
Yeah, every day. No biscuits, no gravy.
Yeah, I heard that. Listen, now here's the challenge though. People like to work secondary muscles. Everybody loves good shoulders, right? What do you think the challenge with shoulders is? Why they get injured so easy?
A rotator?
Not just a rotator, and not just, you know, improper movement. Not overworking. The challenge is the shoulders are highlighted in every movement. And objectively, they're a secondary muscle. Everybody thinks this is the major. It looks major. It actually highlights, and you know, if you like to wear nice shirts, and shirts sit over the shoulders. People see them titties, that chest poking through, but them shoulders create that silhouette, if you would, of how you want the shirt to lay, or the jacket, whatever it may be. But the challenge is when you overdo it, you then create problems or injury. And then if you're moving incorrectly, you really create problems. And so that being said, let's go through some plated presses. So normally, people, I have everybody around me, grab a 25. It's not excessive or excessive warm up. I'll give it to you. All right. You want to keep your back straight. So here, what happens is people start leaning back to press. You don't want to lean back because now you're stabilizing even something that's light with your lower back. You want to sit here, you want to take your feet out slightly, and you want to press forward. And squeeze those elbows as you go up. You want to keep your hand and wrist visible. A lot of people, no. Keep your hand and wrist visible. This right here keeps tension, aka stress, on your shoulder, which is exactly what you want to actually build and strengthen your shoulder while also conditioning. So again, hands here. Squeeze elbows on the way up. Do never lock. Never lock. Catch it right before they lock, boom. And right back down, back straight. I assure you, just moving here and keeping it here, you'll feel the difference in your shoulders being worked. It would look like from the front. Hands and elbows visible. You want to add any extra tension, count 3 seconds on the way down. Remember we talked about eccentric movements, meaning the down part of this particular movement, which is coming down to the plate, is what breaks down muscle, increases strength, is why your muscles get sore. Go ahead, man, 25 of these. Back straight, see how he's already leaning back? He's naturally already leaning back right here. So look, his hips, where's his heart? Boom. Sit, roll them things forward, now press up. Squeeze your elbows on the way up. All right. Lean forward just a little bit more. There you go. A little bit straighter on the back. It's very common for people to want to have to, you know, stabilize a lot of things with their lower back. 100 million people suffer from back pain, people.
Me too. Lower back pain.
It is no joke. I hurt my back one time, and I've saved a lot of people with back problems, and I never got why they was crying when they start feeling better. Man, I had to roll back to tie my shoe one time on the bed because my back was so fucked up. I said, no wonder they was thanking me and crying so much. Because this shit for the birds. How'd that feel?
Yeah, you feel it. All right.
And it's again, unfortunately, in the fitness world, it's all based on feeling. You know, again, I did everything wrong for a long time. I built my structure on improper movements because as long as some movements taking place, life is good. Here the big man is. What's up, man?
feeling already?
Yeah, man. You good.
Put that taco meat on the too.
I know I be wanting to shave it, but it grow back too fast. It turned into a job. You like, when I lose a little bit more weight, I'll cut it off. And you just walk around naked everywhere. So the other thing that I tell people to do is, we did those push-ups last week, what we call true form push-ups. Elbows in, thumbs facing forward. You want to take pressure off of your wrists. Again, we're going to go into a little bit more detail today. So, oh shit. Go ahead, you're going to have to drop down to a knee. So again, a lot of people have done push-ups like this for years. Already, I feel a stress over my wrist. So when you go down, boom, I'm like, man, and you won't feel it, and you won't think nothing about it till your wrists have problems. The minute I did like this, I opened up. I was like, damn, my wrist feel a lot better already. So, thumbs facing forward. Again, you don't want to go you don't want to go out here, and you definitely don't want to go out here. See that movement? First movement is my elbow, second one's my shoulder, aka labrum and rotator, and I'm never really working my chest. Thumbs here. Boom. Now, functional exercises and functional movements, people, in sports, especially if you're an athlete, that's all you got. It's your body on the field. You want to master using your body. That's all you got. This is why push-ups and pull-ups, for that matter, body weight exercises are so important, because they give you an understanding that weights don't. Weights give you some strength and some confidence, to be clear. You hit 225, you hit 315, you feel good. But when that dude gets come off that line, if you're talking about football, and that joker hits your behind because he's got an understanding of hips, and again, just something simple as a push-up, you're like, man, what's he doing that I'm not? You master this body. But again, here, elbows in a perfect right angle. When you come up and go down, you do not want your elbow to move. Why? Because you can't grow your elbow. And you'll feel a lot more tension in your chest. This push-up translates from the ground up, from bench to press. And if you saw him do, again, his presses, they were here. What's a push-up? Here. A bench. Here. Everything's in the same plane. Okay? Okay, just do about 10. Normally we do about 25 push-ups to start. Plated presses. Then we warm up with about 135, which is a plate on each side. 20 reps. So, get Carlos doing this. They think I'm Big Meech. There we go. One nation. How that feel?
Feeling good.
And mind you, I'm gonna go back and get my warm up in before we get to the good stuff. But again, I just want to show you guys some basic stuff as we get this show rolling. Now we talked about hand placement, elbow placement, and elbow movement. A couple things that people do wrong, and again, some people don't like the word wrong because everybody thinks they're right. But here's the truth. If your hand's in here, it's an acute angle. Acute means even if I bench properly, I'm still gonna press out of my elbows. If I go too obtuse, I'm gonna add some stress to my labrum. If I'm slightly obtuse or at a perfect right angle, when I come down elbow to rib, just under my nipples, the CSCS standard says take the bar to your nipple. If I take the bar to my nipple, I have to push my elbow out. It says that in your strength certification. Those people got that CSCS standard. It says take the bar to your nipple in the bench standard. Problem is I have no choice, which is what I learned. And I've got shoulder problems, elbow problems, and back problems that my elbow and shoulder still hurt. So that can't be right. And you heard that pop. I don't know how good that mic is, but my elbow popped. The minute I dropped my elbows in, came down here, seems a little low, pressed back through my chest, I had no more pain. And if somebody said, hey Trev, can you help me push a car? Where would I push the car from? From here. from my chest. This is where my elbows and arms are actually comfortable. They actually fall right into place here. Now here's the thing. When people get tired, what happens? We've all seen a guy row the boat at the gym. So when we talk about elbow placement. So hand placement is where it starts. Where should my hands be? I should see a perfect right angle. Then we talk about elbow placement. You don't want your elbows doing this, because remember, if I got my elbows out, first move is elbow pain. I feel it already in my labrum. Whoo, then my rotator. Get this thing back up. But let's say I'm doing it correctly, but the weight's too heavy, because I don't have control here. And then what people do is they kick the elbow back. You've seen that in the gym if you've ever been to a gym. And press through that shit. Elbow rotation. When that elbow, when you come down here and that elbow kick back, that's the weight rolling through that labrum and that rotator. Your joints have limitations, people. Your muscles really don't. They can do a lot. But them joints, they will go, they will give, and they will cost you so much. They're very expensive, to be clear, like real life money. But it's even more expensive because it fucks with your mental cycle. Your mind itself, like when you can't do what you can do, and it's something as light as this, scary, man. Scary to say the least. So stay tuned. Hand placement, elbow rotation. Things to be mindful of when actually growing your chest. We'll finish this particular episode out with showing you things you can do to combine basically the program. Like what do you actually do when you're building your chest and you know, exercising that upper body. Stay tuned. Take care of yourself. Yo, so people, I said I'm gonna show you how to really maximize your chest. Look, there's a strength and anatomy book that most people who work out all have. It's a blue one. If you got version 3, it's a burgundy one. They also did a stretching anatomy book. Now, mind you, I understand myosin, actin, and what it does, because that's all that takes place when you're actually building muscles. One of the cells, or one of the, you're either stretching or contracting, point blank. That being said, strength, stretch. That's how I look at things. We got 225 up here. For some, this is their max. For others, this is where they work out. Then we've got what we call dumbbell push-ups. Now, what I would encourage you to do is always combine some type of strength with conditioning. In my opinion, strength aligned with a form of stretching builds the conditioning, because one of the things I read in the book moons ago was a longer muscle is a more effective muscle. This is how you prevent muscles from snapping. That being said, we're going to get Carlo do as many as you can. Do about 10 reps if you can. 225, yeah. Then you're going to come right to this and do some dumbbell push-ups. Again, first part of the workout you saw, plated presses, regular push-ups. After that, 135 warm-up. Then you turn around, start getting into your strength development. Good. Elbows are in. Look at that chest sitting up there. His chest is sitting in front of his shoulders, people. That's how you know he's benching correct. Then come right here and do a dumbbell push-up. Now, again, see his thumbs facing forward. Just gonna drop that chest a little bit below those weights every time. Remember, a longer muscle, more effective muscle. If you combine these two things, you'll get some depth and density in your chest. This is really one of the tricks to making that chest spready, like filling that joker out. How'd that feel? Next thing I would do, mind you, your shoulders, as I repeat, are a secondary muscle. So now we did plated presses, warm up the shoulder, because it's going to be supporting all movements that we do with upper body. We did push-ups, which is going to warm up the mechanics. Keep this in mind: muscle and strength. Strength development actually is the functionality of the muscle. Muscles are just what you see. It's very easy for someone to look like they have all the muscle in the world and then they have knee pain. I know, because for those that follow, I can put his story up at any moment in time. He looked like an X-Man, A.J. Ellison. But when I tell you the man's hips were weak, when I first met him years ago and helped him out, they were super weak. I remember one time he was so frustrated doing a step up. He said, how the hell am I supposed to do it if my knee don't move? And finally he got the concept, and he had chronomalacia, which is a degeneration of the cartilage between the femur and the tibia. And again, I told him, slow down. let's just heal, boom. Slow down, build it up. That being said, prime example of what, the difference between what muscle looks like and then what strength does. You need to stay strong. Strength will prevent you from long-term injuries as long as you do it correctly. So my point is, the push-up, the plated press, the 135 bench, then we get into the strength side with more stretching. Then we turn around, by the time we get to dumbbells, and normally, like Carlos said, I hit it 2 times a week. On a day like a Monday, I'll put an emphasis on the incline bench. I don't do incline bench like with the bar. And then I'll turn around and I'll start incorporating shoulders that day. Thursday, when I hit chest again, I'll put an emphasis on triceps. Why? Because that's the last muscle to stabilize any press or push. Any of your presses or pushes, the last muscle is your tricep. You don't want to take your tricep out of the movement or any press or push. That being said, once we get through here, say you go do incline bench, make sure that you're in a position where that chest stays in front of your shoulder, and then turn around, and that's when you add lateral raises, something like that. And again, if I were you, I would keep conditioning doing the push-ups. You can never do too many push-ups or go wrong working your push-ups. A conditioned muscle is a strong muscle. And if you've hung around any of us, you know we do things in sets of 100. So it's not uncommon for us to start with 225 for 100 reps, and that's in sets of 10 to 15 reps, 20 if you're a super strong guy. But we get to 100, and then we go up. That's the crazy part, because I'm a volume trainer in general. And when you're doing it correctly, I don't leave with no pain and no injuries. So just some food for thought, some things that you should do, could do. I'll have Carlos show you a couple different movements, and then that'll be it for today. Remember, hand placement, elbow movement, elbow placement. These are the things you want to be consciously aware of when doing any type of upper body movements, especially when you're pressing or pushing anything. Carlos, show them what a dumbbell looks like.
A dumbbell what?
Dumbbell bench, okay.
Dumbbell bench?
Yeah, okay.
I was like, what?
Come over here because that light's going. Right. Grab some weight that you want. So first of all, go ahead and lay down. My bad. Go ahead and sit down here. Go ahead and sit down and just lean back. Just give him a perspective here. Lean back here. See where his chest is at. This is a decent position. I'm going to drop him 1 notch. I'll go and lay back again. Now his chest is completely forward. Now grab some light weights to start, and then we'll go up.
Sideways?
Yeah. Keep them up, just like that, elbows in, press up, and touch them. Now people look here, see his chest, go all the way up, boom, here, and then drop, stretch. So you want, there you go. You want to make sure you're stretching. And if I were you, if I was you, I'd flex every time that I do this movement. Because a lot of times these particular type of exercises are where you start getting your design for your chest. For those that are interested in the design. Now mind you, those are 35s. I know he can do more than 35s, but it feels different when you start actually focusing on what you're doing. It's something that you felt differently.
More intense, more focus on chest focus, not just running through the motion, not just running through the movement.
I said this when I was at T-Fit 12 years ago, one of the schools. I said, guys, quality precedes excellence. A lot of times, especially nowadays, we're rushing through everything, trying to get through things. So that's why I even come up with 100 reps. I'm like, y'all can't rush to 100. I know that. So let's slow it down and really be intentional with what we're doing, especially because I was trying to save their lives, including my own. I figured this out because I was in the gym one night and couldn't raise my damn arm. I would leave the gym doing 22 sets, I'm not exaggerating, with Gene Mironoff of deadlift, and our backs were screaming afterwards. They say, work out, be healthy, and you'll be happy. Well, we're not happy in pain. That's just the truth. So you say, what are some of the challenges? For me, I'm critical in a way where, I'm being logical. You say, hey, let's look at the numbers. Go look up how many injuries are on the rise, replacements are on the rise, knee, shoulder, elbow, hip. It's $1 billion industries for a reason, and nothing's changed. You go, where's the real problem at? In my opinion, it was in the education. I didn't know that my knee was, I heard him saying a hinge joint, but remember, anatomy's an elective, and living's not an elective. You have to live. That's the difference with, the things that they're teaching you at school is like, you have to live. If you have kids, if you have a job, if you're trying to go play sports at the professional level, your life is kind of like, it's not one of those things you get to choose unless you choose the opposite. And, unfortunately, suicide's a real thing, so people go and do that. But facts are, living is not an elective. So once I learned this, everybody should know this. Why didn't I know about how my knee worked exactly, especially since I'm an athlete? Why did I know how to preserve my shoulder? All the coach said was get lower. He didn't tell me that I was going to blow my back and my knees out doing that dumb shit. Or my shoulder was going to be fucked up by the time you get 22, 23. And you didn't get that info. So now it's like, how do we repurpose and sustain longevity in this thing? Because I feel better when I work out. There's only a few things that really release endorphins: sex, food, and exercise. Top 3 things that really release endorphins, that fire you up and get you feeling good. Can't work out all day, you can't fuck all day, and you definitely don't want to eat all day. So how do you combine it? By managing it all, right? A little bit of everything. Suck if you can't do one. So, anywho, take care of yourself. Again, this is just a light episode on upper body. I'll be breaking down more things in increments. I'm not going to rush through the information. We'll come back and revisit some of the stuff as I talk to some of my counterparts who are participating. And even if it's just me, I will do my best to make it all make sense, and I hope that it helps. And again, I'm not here to argue with them, but I'm just here to help. Thanks, guys. That's it.